Hello, today we are going to look at views in Dataverse. My name is Eric Ntie, and then I hope this session is going to be very interesting as we create views in Dataverse. So we are going to look at some introduction, the types of and structure of views. Then we also look at some demo with in Canvas app as well as the model-driven app. So views, the features of views. Now, views are just a portions of a table. A table is the main thing that is used in the database for you to store the various entries or records that the user have typed. But a view is just a portion of the table or multiple tables that has been interwoven together to be able to show a particular area of interest from the table to the user. So it is a query from one or more tables that is presented in a format to the view or to the user, and that is a view. In Dataverse, we have a public view, personal view, and a system views. Now, the structure of a view in Dataverse is that we have a table, we have a column, we have a sort order, then we have the ordering of the columns, and then we also have a filter. So we will go ahead and look at how this thing pan out. The table is the data source area where the data have been is filled. The column is which column you want to be shown on the view. Then the sort order, we are talking about whether if it is an amount, you are sorting it by the highest amount to the lowest amount. Then the order of the form of the column is which column you want to show first. So we have a student name, full name, date of birth. You want to show the date of birth first before the full name. Those are the ordering of the column. Then the filter, that is, do you want to show a certain category of records or a group of records? So that is what we go ahead and talk about the filtering. So we will go ahead and then do some demo on data model driven app as well as the Canvas app. Okay, so I am here on my table. I have a table named sales table. Let me open the table, and we have various columns. Sales number, date, customer name, transaction amount, discount, and so on and so forth. Now, when you open the table, we have a section here called views. So when you click on the view, you see that there are some existing view that the system has already created. Now, to explain further, a public view is a view that is made available to almost to everybody on the platform. A personal view is what is associated with that particular user, and system view is some of the view that is already created in the system. Okay, so to create, I have some views here already. Let me open the first one, which is the active sales views. After that, we are going to create one. So this is a view from a table. Okay, so to create a view, you just go to new view. Then you give your view a name. Say sales views 3. That's the name you are giving. You can give a description. Okay, so all the columns are made available here for you to select the particular one that you want. So for example, sales, I'm picking the sales amount, I'm picking the date, and I'm also picking the net sales. So these are all inside the sales table. Now to go back to the sales table, let me see. To go back to the sales table, I want to show some relationship that exists with the sales table and some other table that I have. I have regions table. Then I also have account table. Now the account table is a custom table that is already inside the Dataverse that I have used. Now for the account table, I have some columns: credit limits, I have region, and some others that I have used. Then there is a relationship between the accounts table and then the sales table. So when we come here, you see that the customer is we pick the customer from the account table, and it has a relationship with the sales table. We can edit it and see. So there's a one-to-many relationship between the sales and the account, and then the lookup column is the customer. Now, so what it means that there is an existing relationship between the two. So in the view, we can go ahead and bring some of the columns of the account table onto and join it with some of the columns in the sales table into one view that is made available to the user. So for the account table alone, we won't have the credit limit. So when we go back to the account table, for the sales column alone, we don't have anything like credit limits. But because it has a relationship with the account table, and the account table has credit limit, it has region, it has whether we should hold the account or not, and some other metadata or other data or columns, we can join them through a relationship. So these columns are all from the sales table. Now at the right hand side, we have something called related, and we click on the related. You see we have account table, and the relationship is with the sales table based on the customers. So here all these columns are from the customer tables or customer table. So we can decide to include any of these columns inside this view, so that we have two tables that is being joined into one for the benefit of the user. So for instance, if I should pick the account number, okay, so not all of them are filled. So let me look at some other. Let me pick city. I'm not too sure whether I've filled the city column. It's not filled. Okay, so I know I have credit limit. So the credit limit, I have some data for one of them. Then we have credit hold. Okay, so the credit, so whether they should hold the credit for that particular customer is also known. With this, we have joined two tables together into a view with selection of particular columns from the account table and then from the sales table. So this is how you create a view. Then you go ahead, you have to validate, then you save. After saving, then you publish. Publish means making it available to your various users so that they'll be able to see when they go into their various app. So I'll go ahead and publish. So after publishing, let's remember that the sales, the name of the view is sales view 3. Then one of the components that I mentioned is, so we have dealt with the table, we have dealt with the various columns, and then other component is sort. So let's assume we are sorting by amount. And so what it means that we want the smaller amount to come at the top, followed by the bigger amount. You can go ahead and sort by various columns. So we are sorting by the amount, and then we also want to sort by date. So based on the amount and then the date, it is sorted. Then the next thing is to add a filter. Okay, so when you click on the filter, you get a pop-up span for the filter column. So for instance, let's assume we want to filter those with credit on hold set to no. So some of them. So let's click on the filter, click on add the row. Then we pick on not created by credit. Sorry. Since the credit row is not available here. Okay, so let's filter by, say, customer name. And then we have various one, customer name beginning with having look at the name of my customers. Let me go back. Say George Low. Customer name beginning with LOO. Then you can add another filter. So for now, let me save. So what it means is that it's only the customer with low that will be shown. So let me include the name of the customer as part of the field. And we see that it's only George Low that is included. So with this, your view is quite done. You can go ahead and then they publish. You make it available to be used by your client. So from here, you go straight to the model-driven app, and then let's refresh this page. So this is a model-driven app. We are going to make use of the view that we have created. For now, when you open the model-driven app, it is set to active sales view. That is one of the existing views there. If you want to use the view that has been created, you can go ahead and pick. This is the view that we created, sales view 3. You click on it. So you click on it and you see that what we created, the view 3 that we created with filtering on .low is shown and made available in your model-driven app. You can go ahead and also change it to another view or back to the original or the default sales view. So this is how a view is created. In the Canvas app, to show a view, you have to insert a gallery. So we have inserted a gallery here. Let me go ahead and refresh the data source. Okay, so you go ahead and pick the table, that is the sales view. Sorry, let me restart this app. Let me restart. Okay, so I'm going to restart so that we pick the sales view as we did for the model driven app. We want to connect to the Canvas. Okay, so in the Canvas app, I have refreshed it. In the Canvas app, you have to pick the table in which the view is associated. So for the purpose of what we are doing, we have the sales view or the sales table. Then at the right hand side, we have views. And we see that we have multiples of views as we had in the model driven app. And the sales view tray is what we are looking for. So we can go ahead and pick the sales view tray. And you see that it's only the tray item that is shown, because we had filtered it to George Low. So let me insert another and then change it to the name of the customer. Sorry about that. Let me. Okay, so we are having some error here. So when we go back to the account table, this account table, the first column in which we are looking up onto the sales table is called name. Okay, so when we look at this, we have customer, which is the lookup column, dot we are looking onto the account column, and we have name here, dot name. So that gives us the dot low that we saved. So we see that the view is correctly reflected in both the Canvas app as well as being used in the model driven app. Yes, as well as the model driven app. I hope this was very useful.